Hey guys, it's Emily. So some of you may know me from the Jubilee video I was in. It's titled Teen Millionaires versus Minimum Wage Workers. And I was in that video. It was such a fun experience and I got to meet so many cool people, but I did get so many hate comments that it's actually so ridiculous. I'm here to read some of those comments today. And I just think it's so funny because who is actually taking the time out of their day to leave me a hate comment? I think it's hilarious. So the first comment is, the teen millionaires are laughing and relating to each other and the opposing looks so sad and drained hearing them talk. That is literally not true. The funniest thing is we all followed each other on Instagram and we all still talk to this day and I'm good friends with all of them. And even on the opposing side, I talk to them more than I talk to my side and we all get along and everyone was so nice to each other. I think a little too nice to each other that even the producers were like, this might be a boring episode because you guys are so nice to each other that we might not put it on YouTube. They still did put it on YouTube, but I think they wanted us to fight more, but that clears up that we were not enemies. We all became friends after that. Okay, second comment is and this is about me, by the way. I'm the most hated person in that video, which is so funny. But this comment is, I sunk all this money into a failed business, but I kept it going woman, me, has no idea how privileged she is, and it shows. Risk is much easier to stomach when failure doesn't put you on the street. Yeah, that's absolutely true. I 100% agree with that, but I never said, the funniest part about all these comments is I never said that in the video. Oh, I have it just as hard as everyone else. No, I never said that. I literally said that I have a better advantage than most people. So I was just being honest. Next one. The teen millionaires definitely seem to have a different starting point, and I think that needs to be mentioned. Yes, we did have a different starting point. However, the funny thing is I thought when we were gonna go into the Jubilee video, they were immediately gonna ask us our story, what do we do for a living? How did we get money? All that stuff. But they never asked us any of those questions. And I was actually the only person that actually discussed on my side what I did for a living. And I said I wouldn't be where I am today without my grandpa's help with business and stuff. But they never asked. So that was never a thing to be mentioned, I guess. This video really solidified why I don't care about rich people problems. I also don't care about rich people problems. It's not a risk. This is about me again. They're all about me. They hate me. It's not a risk when you're playing with mommy and daddy's money. Actually, this is the biggest comment in here is what does her parents do for a living? My dad's a teacher and my mom's a cop. So no, I was not playing with mommy and daddy's money at all. Not a dime of that was their money. It was 100% my money. So yeah, I did risk my own money with the nail salon business and I did lose all of it. But yeah, I wasn't risking anyone's money but my own. Mrs. Blue Dress, which is funny because I'm wearing a blue dress in the video, so they all call me Mrs. Blue Dress in the comments. It says, Mrs. Blue Dress cannot comprehend that some people just don't have any money. Yes, I can comprehend that. Thank you very much. At Burger116. I bought a nail salon. I immediately tuned out. Fair. That one has 4.9 thousand likes. And then a bunch of people reply to these, which I think is so funny, and then they fight in the comments. And I think that's what drives engagement up on these videos so much, is because people fight each other in the comments and then they defend me, and then I have my haters, and then I have people defending me, and it's so funny. It took me about 2 minutes into this to realize I'm really not interested in what rich teens have to say. Okay, this should have been titled Growing Up Rich versus Poor, because clearly that's the difference. A lot of people don't know this about me, but my dad is a teacher, my mom's a cop, and my grandparents didn't give them any money. So I actually remember being in elementary school and taking the light rail because my parents could not afford 2 cars, and that's actually a fact. Ask my father. My mom had a car to drive to work and my dad's a teacher, so I went to the same elementary school that he taught at, and they didn't have the money to afford 2 cars, so we literally took the light rail, which is the train, not the metro or the train, but basically the bus here in Phoenix, Arizona. So we would take the light rail to work. So I definitely didn't grow up swimming in money, I'll tell you that. So the wealthy teens literally described their advantages. Their parents could easily financially support them while they were young and in school. I actually don't agree with that. My parents did not pay for my college. My parents didn't give me any money. They literally were told not to get jobs. They seemed entirely cut and dry, that they were given more support than the teens earning normal wages. So I feel the biggest question in these comments, there's so many questions about oh, she just took over her grandpa's business, which I guess technically I did. But what actually happened was in 2020, my uncle was supposed to take over the business and he passed away unexpectedly. He was young, he was in his 50s, of a heart attack. And so my grandpa pretty much asked anyone in the family, does anyone want to come work here? Just to work here, in the office. And I was the only one who really wanted to. I mean, all my other cousins had jobs and things to do. So I was just in college, and so I was like, yeah, I'll work in the office. And then I pretty much loved every ounce of the business and everything. And the business was actually, when I jumped into it, it was like $500,000 in debt. I'm not even kidding. So like when he kind of asked like, who wants to take this over? Like that's a big risk that not many people are willing to take, but I took that risk because I knew like I could get the clientele, I could actually make it into something that's worth having, and I did that. And so if I said no, like the rest of my family, he would have just given it up. It would have like, you know, we employ a bunch of people too. So I don't think anything that I do is bad, but all these comments think, oh, she was just giving her grandpa's business and she just gets to travel the world and have fun and do no work. That, it might be a little bit true now, like I get to travel and do fun things, but if I didn't take the risk to start it, when I did back in 2020, which was like 5 years ago, I wouldn't have anything today, I suppose. I can't stand the girl in the blue dress. She agreed with $15 being enough for minimum wage. So that question was a little tricky because it's like, I don't really believe in minimum wage, because if you don't want to work for $15 an hour, then you don't have to work. Nobody's forcing you to work for $15 an hour. And there are other ways to be able to like get out of working minimum wage. And I'm not saying like minimum wage is supposed to be lived on, but I also do agree that like, if you know, you have a husband and he's working and making all this money, then the wife can work minimum wage and everything kind of works out in that way. But you can't just have nothing and work minimum wage and you're gonna be amazing. Like that's not what I was trying to say. Let's read the newest comments, because I'm at the top comments and people are still watching this video. So let's read the new ones. So someone commented this an hour ago. Yeah, this is rough. The millionaires have no clue what it's like. They don't realize what it's like for your parents to work their butts off for you. But once you get to that age of working, it's all you. If I want something, I have to get it. I'm 15. Like they provide groceries and basic necessities, but if I want clothes or whatnot, I have to buy it. There's also 4 other kids, so I can't expect it either. I mean, everyone's born into different situations, and we're not saying that like, oh, I was born with absolutely nothing in the dirt floor. It was like, none of us said that, so. Oh, this is so funny. So in the Jubilee video, I mentioned that in junior high, I sold bracelets. Like I've always really been into business ever since I was a kid, and I've always just sold stuff and made a lot of money, which no one else was doing at my age. But I remember being in junior high and I would make bracelets, which I literally own a jewelry company now as well that I started by myself. But back in elementary or junior high, I would make these bracelets and I would sell them for like a lot of money, but people would buy them. And so I remember making a good few thousand off of that, and then just like off of like my old clothes or stuff that I would make, I would sell, and I made thousands of dollars, and all the comments were like, no, she didn't, no, she didn't. Well, I did, and I remember those days, and I remember literally posting like a Snapchat of like me selling my stuff, like when I was in high school, and I just think it's funny because someone commented, selling bracelets at school. I have heard in my career many times. I start selling X at school and made hundreds of thousands of dollars until the school shut me down. Yeah, the school did tell me I couldn't do that anymore. The thing those people never told was where they got the money to start that small venture. Yes, okay, you need to get the supplies to make bracelets, but it's really not that expensive, especially if you're like, oh, I want this supplies for a Christmas present or a birthday present. Most parents can afford that, and it's not that hard. But all these are like, you need all this money to start this, da-da-da-da-da, and you really don't, so. I mean, it was literally rubber bands. Like I made rainbow loom bracelets, like be so real. That's like a few bucks. How the hate comments make me feel. I really don't care, like at all, because they have no idea who I am. They have no idea where I come from. They have literally no idea about me. They've seen a 1-hour video on Jubilee, me talking about money, which is such a small aspect of life. So I think it's honestly kind of funny. And it actually makes me sad because like people are actually out here commenting and having the time of day to comment. And that means they're miserable. Like I would never leave a hate comment on anyone's video in my life. Like I never have. Like I think that's so ridiculous. Should we talk about the girl from my high school? Yeah. Oh my gosh. This story is absolutely crazy. So Jubilee told us the time that the video was gonna be dropped. So the second it dropped, like I was ready and I was reading all those comments when they first came in. Like I could care less now, but like when they were coming in, I was like so excited to read all these comments and they were all hating on me. And I was like, this is hilarious. I'm Miss Blue Dress Girl and all that. And so I kept seeing this one user comment, I went to school with Emilie and blah, 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 and saying all these bad things about me. I was like, who the heck went to my school that I personally know that is leaving hate comments on the Jubilee video? Like that's actually crazy because my graduating class was 100 people. Like our school was literally this small and everyone knew everyone. So I'm like, I clearly know this person and I probably know them well. And so they were commenting all these bad things. Like someone was like, oh, she's so annoying, can't stand her. And then they commented, yeah, imagine having to go to high school with her. I was like, who is leaving these comments? Like, that's actually crazy. And so I looked, and the username was like Emilie12345 or like something. Emilie with a Y. I'm Emilie, Emilie, and there's only like 3 other Emilies with a Y at our whole entire high school, and I'm really good friends with 2 of them. So ding, 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 it doesn't take a genius to figure out who the other Emilie was. So I'm like, that's so weird. And I go to her Instagram, and there's a picture of her dog, and that was her profile picture for the YouTube that she was leaving all these comments on. So it doesn't really take a detective to figure that out. But then I went back to the YouTube, and she changed all of her username and everything to like anonymous user 1234. And I was like, oh my God, like she really doesn't think that I would figure that out, because like she doesn't think I'm reading these comments like right when she posts them. But she posts them, I read them, and then she changed her username so that I would never find out who it was. But this is the funniest part, is this girl followed me on Instagram, followed me on Snapchat, has been to multiple of my parties that I invited her to. I remember in high school, like she was kind of like the nerd kid, and like not really many people liked her. People would talk bad about her, but I was always nice to her, always was down to be her friend, invited her to my party. She showed up. She would comment, she literally would comment on my Instagram like, oh my God, cute, like goals, queen. And she's out here leaving hate comments. Like, that's actually so mind blowing to me that like you come into my house for my party and you're saying all these nice things on Instagram about me, but like behind closed doors on your little fake account that you think I wouldn't catch, you're commenting, imagine going to high school with her. Like, be so real. If you didn't like me, why are you coming to my parties and commenting that stuff? So that's so fake. And then this is the best part, is I unfollowed her on Instagram and Snapchat, and then I'm so ballsy, like I literally don't care what anyone thinks of me. I will straight up tell whoever, whatever, and I Instagram DM'd her, and I said, I can literally pull them up right now. It's actually hilarious. Let's see exactly what she said. Yeah, literally the first one, I'm not gonna show you the profile, but she literally commented, interior design queen, because I posted like a little interior design thing I did in my house. And then the next one is me commenting, the literal hate comment that she sent. Oh yes, let me read the actual hate comment that I like screenshotted and sent to her. She goes, I went to high school with that girl in blue, Emilie. She will talk about how her parents are a cop and a teacher, so she pretends like she didn't grow up privileged. But her grandparents are extremely wealthy and she inherited their family meat company. Well, that's literally not, I'm not lying. Like, my parents are a cop and a teacher, and my grandparents are not extremely wealthy. Like, not at all. Like, if you guys know me, that's not the case. So I think it's actually hilarious. And it's not like I just inherited the family meat company. Like, I worked my butt off to be able to make it what it is today. And so anyways, so I screenshot that and I said, you commenting this is actually so wild, laugh emoji, laugh emoji. And then she probably saw me send that and she probably pooped her pants. Like, I swear, like I can imagine she literally like shit her pants because she thought she didn't get caught. She changed her username to anonymous user 1234. And I caught her red-handed. Maybe don't make your profile picture a picture of your dog. And so she goes, girl, I don't know why you're out here being inauthentic. Inauthentic is crazy. I said, I'm being fully authentic. I literally said in the video I wouldn't be who I am today without my grandpa's help. I don't know if you watched the whole video. And she goes, yeah, but you're in the comments saying you don't come from money. And I said, yeah, I don't. I took over my grandpa's business, I made that clear. And when I took it over, it was $500,000 in debt. If my grandparents were rich, then why would my parents be a cop and a teacher? Like, mostly when there's this generational wealth, like if you don't want a job, you don't have to have a job. Why would my dad be a teacher, my mom be a cop? It like makes no sense. So, and then she pretty much just said, oh yeah, I said, it's just sad to me you're out here leaving comments like that when I was so kind to you and your friends in high school. And she goes, it bothers me how inauthentic you can be. You wish it was hate. Just saying, if you weren't being inauthentic, you wouldn't have deleted the comments. I never said you were mean. I never said you were mean. Yeah, because I was never mean. I was always nice to you. So people are something else. I hope that she's living a better life because clearly she has issues. And then she literally said that she reads every single time I post on Instagram, and I post a lot of Instagrams. She reads all of the comments and sees that I like delete hate comments because she said, I see you deleting hate comments. Well, for you to see me deleting hate comments, that means you have to go to my Instagram and read all the comments and be on top of the comments of each of my Instagram posts. See when someone comments a hate comment. Like, I never block anyone or anything, but if someone's gonna continuously leave a hate comment on every single photo, like, I'm gonna block you because that's annoying, or delete it. Like, hello? And so the fact that she's like out here stalking every single post and every single comment section of everything that I post, like, get a life, Miss Girl. Like, what are you doing? I know you're smart. You can get a good job and be busy. Like, you have way too much time on your hands to be watching my Jubilee, commenting. She literally left like 20 comments. I looked on the Jubilee video about how she knew me. Like, is that a flex that you knew me? Like, that's so funny. All right, anyways, we got sidetracked with that, but someone said, how can the rich teen speak on how to get a job if they've never had one? I've had jobs. I've had plenty of jobs. My first job, I had no experience, fresh out of high school, no college degree, nothing like that. And I said in the video, like, I refused to work minimum wage. I don't think that's a bad thing to refuse to work minimum wage, but all the comments were roasting me like, you refuse to work minimum wage, nah, nah, nah. Yeah, because I was like, I'm not gonna work minimum wage. I'm gonna do what I have to do and jump through hoops to get a good job that pays me a good amount of money for me to not have to work minimum wage. I don't think that's a bad thing. So what I did is I went on Indeed and I found like nannying positions, because that's pretty easy to nanny. And I like worked for a family that was pretty well off. Not because of my connections. People were saying like, oh, she probably was nannying for a rich family because of her connections. No connections at all. Literally just on Indeed, I found this job listing, I applied, I got the job. They paid me well. I was happy, loved the kids. Everything was great. They literally still text me to this day, like, I love the boys, like, everything is great. And everyone like is roasting me in the comments, like, that's not a real job. It's on Indeed and I applied and I got money. That's pretty much a real job to me, so thank you very much. So I think the consensus of this video is, I feel like I wish people watch this and kind of like realize like you could actually start from nothing. I know many people who've started from nothing and made themselves into like way richer than me, like literal billionaires, like off of nothing. So I think that the consensus is it is possible. And I feel like it's bad to just assume that anybody who has money is just that's younger is just like a spoiled rich kid, because that's really not true. Most of the people that I know my age who have money, their parents don't have money and they actually support their parents. So I guess my message is, don't be so closed-minded and allow yourself to learn and try to actually realize that it is possible and it's not all just spoiled rich mommy daddy's money. It's actual hard work and it's possible no matter what background you come from. And yeah.